You know what's funny? After we left this studio yesterday, I was talking to Doug and David, our two top honchos here, and we said, what happened to the Comey thing? Now we're only talking about Russia and this phony story about how Trump revealed classified information to the Russians and on and on and on. Next thing you know, last evening, the New York Times runs its story with somebody close to Comey reading from his memo. What memo? Well, you know, that memo, he used to write memos after his meetings. He wrote memos after his meetings. Oh, yeah. He did? Yes. Now, we used to call those CYAs, self-serving CYAs. And typically people write those if they expect some kind of litigation, some kind of personnel issue, if they're trying to set somebody up. And then we're told this memo is, man, it's unbelievable because Trump is saying to Comey in February, you know, I hope you'll get past this Flynn thing. I hope you'll get past oh my God, what did he mean by that? That's obstruction of justice. Oh, my president never talks to an FBI director like that. No, no, no. And Comey, of course, sits on this for 2.5, 3 months, and now it's read to the New York Times, and I'm going to get into this. Let me just put it up front here. There's no obstruction of justice as a matter of law. There's no impeachable offense as a matter of constitutional law. There's no impropriety of any kind whatsoever. There's no constitutional crisis of any kind whatsoever, despite all of this media crap that's being pushed out there by these phony guests and political hacks. This is a phony scandal pushed by politicians in the media. What do they have? Why are they doing this? What is their interest here? For politicians, particularly the Democrats, to change the election cycle in hopes of winning the House and even winning the Senate when their numbers don't match up very well. For the media, their ratings are going through the roof. Do you know who the highest rated cable host is right now? Maddow, Rachel Maddow. She's awful. But the kooks and the loons and the leftists, they're very, very excited right now because they may topple, they hope, a constitutionally elected president. And of course, if they can't topple him, they want to topple his party, and in any event, they want to destroy his administration and attack his legitimacy. That's what's going on. It is a horrific coup. It's a coup. Now, the Washington Compost has a soundbite in which they try and sum all this up, so I thought we'd entertain ourselves and take a look at it. Ready? Go.
What we don't do is discuss what is and what wasn't classified. What I will tell you is in the context of that discussion, what the president discussed with the foreign minister was wholly appropriate to that conversation.
Well, we had a very, very successful meeting with the foreign minister of Russia. Our fight is against ISIS.
Do you have concerns about the president's ability to properly handle classified information?
No.
Why not? Are you starting to lose confidence in President Trump?
No. I think it would be helpful to have less drama emanating from the White House.
We Democrats are united in believing that the president must make transcripts of those conversations available to the intelligence committees. The president should make full, unedited transcripts.
No. This is a party that armed up the Iranian regime with nukes and ICBMs. I mean, let's be honest. This is a party that conferred $150 billion through all different sources on the Iranians. This is a party that supported ransom in the amount of $1.7 billion, $400 million of which, you'll remember, was sent over to the regime in Iran, the terrorists in Iran, by way of a nighttime flight on a foreign-marked aircraft where they pushed out these pallets of money in foreign currency. I mean, I've never seen anything like that, have you? So we don't need lectures about these clowns, about intelligence and national security and all the rest, while they undermine the constitutional system, the treaty system, in order to push that deal through. Go ahead.
Scripts available immediately No ifs, no ands, no buts.
If it's true, it's incredibly concerning, and unfortunately, it's not a one-off event. I mean, this is a pattern of acting
Pattern of what? Go ahead.
very cavalierly with very important information, where people's lives and our national security are on the line.
So right now, you know, you got to get your phony scandal straight. So right now, when it comes to the scandal of the day before yesterday, which was the Russians and classified information and so forth, what's interesting about this one in particular is what? Well, the information that was discussed was all over the media, had been leaked to the media, had been leaked to ABC and leaked to CNN and NBC and all the rest of them, and I went over that yesterday. Well, no, but he gave away the location, the city and so forth. That's a code black issue, and he used code words and everything else. Secretary of State says, no, he didn't. National Security Advisor says, no, he doesn't. Deputy National Security Advisor says, no, he didn't. There's nothing here. Zero. Zippo. Go ahead.
And this is just the latest example of that.
Yes. Hold on now. Now to the next phony scandal. You gotta, I mean, I know, it's hard, but let's stick with this. Go ahead. Hold on, did you notice they're kissing there, by the way? Go ahead. Stop. President Trump asked James B. Comey to have the FBI drop its probe of Michael Flynn, Comey's notes show. That's not what the notes show. First of all, nobody's seen the notes. It was read to the New York Times. Basically, the Washington Post is now printing what the New York Times said. He didn't tell him to drop the probe. He didn't order him to drop the probe. He asked him if he could, he was hoping he could see his way past this thing. He didn't order him to do anything. Go ahead.
I was shaken by the report in the New York Times.
He's always shaking, this moron. Go ahead.
That alleged that the president tried to shut down an active FBI investigation.
Stop. How did the president try to shut down an active FBI investigation? By the way, do you know the president could have shut down an FBI investigation? This investigation of Flynn is not the investigation of the Russia-Trump collusion. So it has nothing to do with Trump, even theoretically, in no conceivable way. So it's the other one, right? The President of the United States could have said constitutionally, you know what, Mr. FBI Director, shut that down. I don't want to deal with that anymore, because it doesn't involve. The President of the United States is the executive branch. You elected him, not the FBI Director. But again, that's a theoretical argument. It didn't happen. What the Post said didn't happen. What this fool says didn't happen. Go ahead.
Into a close political associate.
Yes.
As you know, Senator, the work of the men and women of the FBI continues despite any changes in circumstance, any decisions. So there has been no effort to impede our investigation
Stop.
to date.
Shouldn't that be the end of it, kind of? Now, this man was testifying as the acting director of the FBI. Before Comey was fired, he was his deputy. He's a Democrat. His wife ran for the state Senate in Virginia as a Democrat. She's close to the Clintons. The governor of Virginia, very close to the Clintons, raised over $500,000 for her state Senate campaign. He did not reveal that. So this is the kind of witness you want under these circumstances. He's saying there's been no effort to impede our investigation to date. That should be the end of it, right? So where's the obstruction of justice exactly? Well, he tried to stop it. I said, under law, as defined, obstruction of justice, where's the obstruction of justice? There is no obstruction of justice.